Hi guys, good evening. I don't know what's going on with my microphone and my camera, right? Suddenly it stopped working, right? So we're going to start with the class of today, right? So good evening, Natalie.
Good evening, teacher.
Hi, how was your day or your weekend?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Thanks for asking.
That's good to know. Who else do we have in our class? Okay, good evening.
Hey guys, good evening. Good evening, teacher. Good evening.
Hi, how was your day? How was your weekend?
My day, is very difficult, very hard, but my weekend, oh, that was fantastic.
That's good to know. So, guys, I want to ask you something. Did you have any problems to solve the quiz? And the homework? Or everything was okay?
You know what was my problem, teacher? I don't know
Yeah,
my problems.
yeah, I got it. I wanted to know about the rest of your classmates, right? So, Wilson, did you have any problem to make your homework?
A teacher, no, I didn't have any problem.
All right, thank you. How about you, Natalie?
Sorry, teacher.
Did you have any problem to complete the homework and the quiz?
No, teacher, all was okay.
All right, thank you. I don't know why, but Hugo, I don't know what's going on with your account. I'm going to check it for today. Tuvimos algunas dificultades, right? Porque justo el día sábado por la mañana, estaba en, ¿cómo se dice? En mantenimiento la página de Person. Entonces, no sé qué ha pasado. Solo el problema lo tuvo Hugo. Les preguntó a todos mis estudiantes y todos han podido hacer normal su homework y no sé por qué, right? Pero Hugo, te vas a quedar porfa hasta el final de la clase. ¿Está bien? Vamos a resolver.
Okay.
All right. So, all right, yes. So we're going to start with the class of today, guys, right? It's going to be, I hope my microphone works and my camera. I don't like to use my cell phone because I always received emails, right? My students sent me messages about the homework in there, or the university though, and I feel very uncomfortable with it. So I hope everything goes well. So what am I supposed to do right now? Oh, yes. So we're going to start with the class of today, guys. It's about the past, the present, unreal, conditional, right? We saw it last week and I got confused, to tell the truth, because I thought that I got confused, but no. Today's lesson, it's about the present and real conditional, right? So I'm going to make the last stream and give me a second, please. Yes. Where is it? All right. So I just posted the practice that we're going to have for today, right? And yes, I get it. All right, so I'm going to start sharing my screen, right? And you're going to let me know if you can see it. Give me a second. All right, I was supposed to use my laptop, right? But it couldn't be possible, so All right. Can you see my screen, guys? Oh, yes, of course you can. I can see from my cell phone. So the lesson of today is going to be about the present real conditional, right? This is very, very, very easy, right? We saw the past and real conditional, but in the present, the structure is very, very easy, right? So we're not going to listen to this audio because of my microphone, right? If I'm going to turn it, then there's going to be a kind of echo or something like that. And let's start. Oh, let's see the examples. Wilson, can you please read the two examples we have?
Okay. What would you do if you had $1 million? If I had a lot of money, I'd travel all over the world.
Thank you. So this is so funny because those situations are unreal ones, right? But are in the present. But the structure, the first structure, the if clause is in the past. So let's start. Natalie, can you please read number 1?
We use the present and real conditional to talk about present conditions and results that are not real. The if clause expresses the unreal condition. The result clause expresses the unreal result. If Nick had the evidence, he would be very happy. This means that Nick doesn't have the evidence, and as a result, he isn't very happy. If Talia didn't work so hard, she would have more time for fun. This means that Talia works hard, and as a result, she doesn't have time for fun.
All right, thank you. So we're going to talk about the present unreal conditional to talk about the present conditions and results that are not real, right? So what does the present unreal conditional indicate, right? It indicates a situation which is only imagined or someone's mind, right? Or in someone's mind. So for instance, I could say, where is my whiteboard? Oh, right, I got it. So let's see. What can we say? If I had, oh, I'm not writing. If I had a pony, I would ride it every day. All right, there you go. My second example. Yes, this is, oh, give me a second. We're going to see the structure of this, right? So my wish could be that I had a pony, right? And if I had a pony, that could be my result. That would be something that I would do, right? That's the reason of why I use would, right? You can use the contraction, right? So if I'm going to have a pony, right? If I had a pony, oh, it's necessary a space in this part, right? In space. I would write it every day. That's my unreal result, right? That's a fake situation, right? So we're going to say that I'm going to stop sharing this terrible whiteboard. I don't know why I don't like it. Instead of it, I'm going to share my old whiteboard. All right, yes, I got it. So to form the present and real conditional, right, we're going to use the past tense in the if clause and would plus verb in the main clause, right? So let's see how is it. I'm going to use blue color. No, this one is terrible. I don't like the purple one, right? So I'm going to use the if, right? The if clause. It's necessary to put it in the present. Oh, sorry, in the past, right? Past tense, right? Plus would. I can see. All right, yes, now I can. plus would and plus the main verb. All right, that's all. That's my formula. It's very easy, right? So Natalie could, no, Hugo, could you please give me an example?
If I had more free time, I would drive more frequently.
All right, thank you. So we're going to write, thank you, Hugo, that was a good one. For example, the question is going to be, what would you do if you had $1 million? Oh, $1 million. All right. So Wilson, can you please give me an answer for that question?
If I had $1 million, I would I would buy food.
I will buy food.
Yes, for dogs and cats.
Oh, that's so cute. Thank you. Thank you. That was a good one. So, Natalie, could you please answer it? What would you do if you had $1 million? Oh my goodness, I wrote in a, I'm so sorry, give me a second. Where is my, okay, we're going to add, we're going to suppose, right, that that's a double L, right? So, Natalie, could you please answer it? What would you do if you had $1 million?
If I had $1 million, I would help the environment.
If I had $1 million, I help the environment.
Yes.
Thank you. That was a good one. Yes, I would do too. I would help it too. Hugo, can you please give me an answer?
If I have $1 million,
What would you do?
I travel around the world. I travel to the Paris, maybe. It's a
All
real,
right.
it's a real situation for me.
Travel around the world. Yes, could be. It's up to you, you know. En realidad no sabemos cuándo van a ser
It's a
situación
bit
real. I'm sorry?
It's like a dream. It's like a
Is that a goal? Something like that?
No, it's my this. It's a dream that.
All right, yes. Bueno, en realidad depende de cada uno, ¿no? Eso sí es bien importante. Pero hay algunas situaciones, por ejemplo, en los ejercicios que vamos a tener, que en realidad son unreal situations, right? Entonces, depende de cada uno. Así que no hay ningún problema, ¿sí? No es como que les voy a decir, no, nunca vas a tener $1 millón. Nunca vas a poder hacer eso. No, depende de cada uno. Por eso no opino nada acerca del tema, and it's up to you, right? Thank you, guys. So as you can notice in our if clause, we have the structure if I had, right? Si tuviera, right? It could be translated for it. Si tuviera, compraría, ayudaría, viajaría, right? So that will be everything about the structure, right? Do you have any question
No, teacher.
No, teacher.
All right, thank you. Let's see. My goodness, I really hate this spotlight. I don't know what's going on. My other question is, what would you do if you what can we say if you didn't want to come to school to university? Oh no, I guess nobody is in the university. I said the university, sorry. Yes, I guess the only one is Natalie. She's in school, and then at work we're going to say work.
No, teacher, I'm the university.
Oh yes, yes, I forgot. I forgot. You're preparing yourself. Sorry. So
Yeah,
what would
don't
you
worry.
do? What would you do if you didn't have to come to work? Let's say, yeah, we're going to suppose that Natalie works, right? What can we say about yes? What would you do if? Oh my goodness! Really, Natalie?
Yeah, preparing desserts and selling them on Instagram.
Oh, oh yes, you told me. I forgot. I totally forgot. Yes.
Yeah, don't worry, teacher.
Thank you, Natalie, for the reminder. So, Hugo, is everything okay?
Yes, yes, sure. I was. That was a surprise for me too.
Yes, she's a teenager and she's working, right? So she's a good one, right? So even when we have opportunity to do it, we have to do it, right? We have to earn money. Don't forget. So all right, let's start. For example, who is my first student? Hugo, can you please Can you please answer it? What would you do if you didn't have to come to work today? We're going to suppose that we're gonna work and everything, right? So what would you do?
I would do more exercise.
The whole answer, please. If I
If I didn't have
yes,
didn't have to work. Yes, it's correct to come to work.
if I didn't have to come, yes, of course.
Okay.
If I didn't have to come to my work or
Yes.
directly to work,
I would exercise all day.
the whole day.
Yes, because I need to lose weight.
Oh, that's terrible. I really hate when it happens. So it couldn't be possible to exercise the whole day.
Yes, it's possible. I would like to go for any swimming pool or train any sport.
Oh,
Play
oh,
any.
that's different. Oh yeah, to play something in order
Yes,
to play.
it's better. It's better to play anything.
Yes, if it's better for your body, yes, of course, why not? Right? Thank you, Hugo. Larissa, good evening.
Hello, teacher. Good evening.
My dear student, what happened? You're late.
Yes, sorry for that.
Don't worry. How was your day? How was your weekend? What did you do?
I went to my work.
Everything is about our job, right?
Yes.
That's terrible. But I hope everything goes well. Can you please answer me to this question? What would you do if you didn't have to come to work today?
Okay, if I didn't have to come to work, I'd go out or take a no go out for a walk with my dog, maybe.
With your boss?
With my dog.
Oh, I heard you. All right, thank you. I can you please the last part?
I go out with my dog.
Thank you. That was a good one.
Okay.
So thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you. What else do we have? Natalie, what would you do?
If I didn't have to come to work today, I sleep the whole day.
Oh, my biggest dream. All right, thank you. I didn't, sorry, what I read. I would sleep the whole day, right? Give me a second, please, guys. All right, I'm back. So, all right. Oh my goodness, I got scared. I thought I wasn't writing. Oh my goodness. All right. So, yes, that's something that I definitely would do too, right? I will sleep the whole day. Thank you, Natalie. How about you, Wilson?
Well, if I didn't have to come to work, I would play video games.
All right, I'll play video games. Thank you. That was a good one. So thank you, guys. That was everything, right? So what else? All right, something that I have to say in this part, right, that for the present and real conditionals, right, it's common to use were in place of all forms of be, for example, right, in the if clause, right? So it could be regardless of the subject, right? If I were you, I would get a lawyer, right? So let's see. If my capitalization, my goodness, if I were, I'm not saying if I was, right? If I were you, comma, at what did I say? I'd get, yes, a lawyer. I'd get a lawyer. Another one. What else? Let's continue. If I were a lawyer, well, if I were a lawyer, I would not charge you, right? So I can use a negative in my second clause, right? In the result clause, I mean, I would not charge you. right? Then I can use the negative in my if clause, and it's okay, right? It is going to depend on what do we have in my context, what do I want to say, right? But the result, it's unreal, right? Well, the situation is unreal. For example, if she, I can use another one, another subject, yes. If she were a lawyer, what do I have with lawyers today? If she were a lawyer, Shayla would be rich. With my best friend would be rich. Right, Shayla? If she were a lawyer, Shayla would be rich because she always is discussing. So if she were a lawyer, Shayla would be rich, right? So sometimes could can be used in place of would, right? In the main clause, right? So I'm not going to write the whole sentence, right? But something that I could say, for example, if I had more free time, that was something that Hugo was saying, right? I could travel around the world, right? I could travel around the world, right? And the contraction is the same, right? So what else do we have? Yes, that was everything. Do you have any question until this part, guys?
No, teacher.
Thank you. So let's continue. Give me a second. All right. So, yes. All right, we have number 2, right? Could you please, Hugo, read the whole?
The verb in the if clause is the simple past, but its meaning is present. If I have his phone number now, I call him. The verb in the result clause is would, base for to the verb. If I had his phone number now, I call him. Notice that in conversation, we often use the contraction the for would and wouldn't for would and not. Sorry, for would not. We don't use would if the if clause. We do not say it's. If I would have his phone number.
Thank you. That was everything. In my if clause, I only need to use the conjugation of the simple past. If I had his phone number now, right? But its meaning is in present. That's why sometimes the conditions are a little bit weird, right? Because of the contradiction, right? But if I'm going to use my if clause, right? The structure, as you can see, and then as you practiced, the if clause is in the past. If I had his phone number now, I call him, right? And yeah, we can use the contractions, right? At this level, you were supposed to. And then what else do we have? Yes, that was everything about this one, right? So one more time, the if clause, it's always with the simple past. I can't, guys, I can't use in the if clause my result would, right? How can I have that curiosity. How could I translate it? If I would buy a house, I had no, it was I didn't know how could it be the translation of it. It sounds weird, right? So don't forget, in my result, always I have to put my would, or it could be replaced by could, right? And not only could, we use should or might, right? It's up to you, right? And it depends on what do we have to say, right? In what situations do we have to use what? Number 3, who didn't participate? Pau, good evening.
Good evening, teacher.
Hi, how was your day?
Was good, teacher. Sorry to be late. I was with my grandma.
Don't worry, it's okay. So can you please read number 3?
Okay. In addition to would, we can also use the modals could, should, or might in the result clause. Talia, if I told your coach the soccer federation might let you play again, Nick, if we had the proof, I could play again.
Thank you. So we have, we're going to focus in this part, the result one, right? We can use another models. As I told you, we can use could, should, might, right? In the result clause. The soccer federation might let you, right? Or we have say, we could say, I'm sorry. My goodness. No, I was not supposed to erase everything. Right. I could play again. I'm using my modal could. I'm using might, right? And then something that you have to pay attention to is the verb, right? We can use whatever way, whatever verb we have, if it's necessary, right? So I could say, if I told your coach, the soccer federation might let you play a game. If we had the proof, I could play a game. So the only thing, right, what do we have in common? That it's unreal, right? Are not real situations, right? So it's up to you. But always, always, always my if clause, it is necessary to conjugate it into the simple past, right? And that's everything about point number 3. I told you guys, this is very easy. It's not difficult at all, right? The only thing that we have to see is that a real or unreal situation, right? So we have number 4. Larissa, could you please read it?
Okay. When the verb in the if clause is a form of be, we use were for all subjects. If Tony and John were here, they will help us. If Amy were here, she will help us.
Thank you. So that's something I showed you, right? When we're going to have, for example, in our exercises, we're going to have the verb be, right? How could you place it? The only thing that I have to do is to put were, that's all. Even if I have if I'm going to talk in first, second, or third person or in plural, right? I'm going to use were, right? So that will be everything. I would, I'm sorry, what I was near to read, I didn't know why I say I would. If Tony and John were here, they would help us. If Amy were here, she would help us, right? As you can see, I'm using the use of be in the past and were, right? And we have 2 points more. So Wilson, can you please read number 5?
We often use if I were you to give advice. Nick, if I were you, I wouldn't blame myself.
Thank you. So when we're going to, we have a lot of ways to provide an advice. One of them is using if I were you, right? So if I were you, right? If I were you, I would get a lawyer. That was my example, right? If I were you, I would get a lawyer, right? So the same structure, right? To give advices. What else do we have? Number 6. Natalie, could you please read it?
Number 6, teacher.
Yes, please.
Okay. The if clause can come at the beginning or the end of the sentence. Meaning is the same. Notice that in writing, we use a comma after the if clause when it comes first. Nick, if he believed you, it wouldn't matter. Or Nick, it wouldn't matter if he believed you.
Thank you. So this is a general situation, right? That we saw in all of our conditionals, right? If we're going to start saying or mention the if clause, we have to use the comma, right? If I'm going to start putting or writing my a result clause, it's not necessary the use of comma, right? That's all, guys. I don't know if you have any question until this part. No one, guys? No questions?
No, teacher. All is clear.
No, teacher.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. So, well, this is going to help you a lot, right? So we have a PDF. What? Oh, that's cool. What else do we have in here? Oh, no. So, we're going to see this part, right? And what is this? Oh. So we're going to see in this part, guys, we have a PDF, right? We have present and future real conditions. We have the present and future unreal conditions, right? So we have some examples, right? I'm going to send you to our WhatsApp group, right? I have the real and unreal conditionals, right? And then I have the real conditionals, right? The real conditional, some examples, right? The simple present, right? Everything is going to be clear with this one. Then you have the structures in this, the structures of each one in this chart we have in this, and we have for wishes though, right? So I'm going to share it to our WhatsApp group because that's going to help you. At the moment, we're going to work in our practice, in our today's practice. Where is our group? A12, yes, I got it. So I'm going to send it right now. Oh, why? What's going on? I can't send it. I don't know why. Yes, now I get it. So I just send it and it's done. All right, there you have, guys. I sent it to our WhatsApp group, right? And that was everything, right? So first, we're going to practice. I posted a document, right? I'm going to share my screen. Give me a second. All right. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes.
All right. So where is it? All right, I get it. So the last bulletin, it's here, right? So you are going to have the first and second conditional, right? It's a mix. And then you have the second part of it, right? It's the second and the third conditional, right? So the only thing that you have to do is complete it, right? And what else? I'm going to post it a new practice, right? I'm going to see how we're going to do, or if we have time, we're going to watch for the video that we have in person, right? So we're going to work in pairs, guys. I don't know if you have any question.
No, teacher.
No, teacher.
All right, guys, that's good to know. So I'm going to open two breakout rooms. All right, so yes, okay. So I'm going to open all the rooms, right? So see you in a moment, guys. Good luck. All right, guys. I'm not going to turn on my camera because I'm afraid of it. Guys, can you listen to me?
No, no, yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Oh my God. My goodness. Thank you, guys. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I change of this microphone, but I know it is still working. So I'm going to check it, right? So all right. So at this point, guys, how much time does it took you? Does it take you? Sorry, Paul, to finish the practice.
The about the where?
The whole. Yes, the last one I posted. With Wilson, the last one, the use of conditions. Wilson, do you remember?
Sorry, teacher.
Can you listen to me?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So, all right. So I was asking to you, how much time does the practice take you to do it? ¿Cuánto tiempo les ha tomado hacer la práctica, chicos? Paul, Wilson.
15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. 15 minutes are enough to finish the practice. That's the reason of why I close all the rooms, right? So, Natalie, until what part you made the practice done?
We finished.
Oh, all right. That was a good news, right? I was scared. I was like, what's going on? They didn't finish. It's time, right? So thank you, guys. Don't forget, Natalie, to share with me. Oh, there was a correction, right? That Wilson made me, right? And I'm very grateful for it, because instead of putting in the example I was, I'm sorry, instead of putting I were, I wrote it I was, I guess it was, right? So it was my mistake, guys, right? So don't worry if you notice that part. Thank you, right? So we're going to practice a little bit of our listening, right? I hope my microphone is still working. I'm so afraid of it, but let's see how it's going. So in this section, you will hear academic lectures, right? In the exam, you will hear each lecture once before you look at the questions. In this practice test, you can control the audio yourself. You can also script the conversation, right? So you're going to listen the lecture about the poet Sylvia Plath, right? Take notes while you listen, right? Then answer the questions, right? I'm going to share with you my screen almost at the end. It lasts 4 minutes, right? So please pay attention. We're going to listen twice, right? We have 10 questions to answer, right? Esa es como una lectura para poder ver qué tal estamos en nuestro listening, right? Es una lectura, es una académica, right? Entonces, por favor, tomen notas, right? Voy a preguntar a todos, ¿sí? Entonces, ¿cómo vamos a trabajar? At the end of the listening part, right? You are going to send me the answers of each question, right? Pero lo van a hacer de manera privada. Ustedes pueden seleccionar la opción de enviarme, cosa de ver quién necesita más reforzamiento en el listening, right? Así que por privado me envían sus respuestas, right? So, are you ready, guys? Is there any question?
No, teacher.
All right, thank you. So pay attention to it, please. It lasts 4 minutes. One more time. This lecture is about the poet Sylvia Plath, right? So take notes while you listen, right? So pay attention.
Today, we're going to look at the life and some of the.
Can you listen to it?
Yes, teacher.
All right, thank you. So pay attention.
Patient look at the life and recognition.
Oh, what's going
Today,
on?
we're going to look at the life and some of the works of one of America's finest modern female poets, Sylvia Plath. At the time of her death in 1963, Sylvia Plath was on the verge of the critical success and recognition that she had sought for most of her life. Her first novel, The Bell Jar, had just been published, and the publication of her collection of poems, Ariel, had just been agreed. These poems, which were mostly written during the last year of her life, chronicle the traumatic developments taking place in her personal life and were to make for her a reputation as a first-rate poet. But it wasn't until 1982, almost 20 years after her death, that her posthumously published Collected Poems won the Pulitzer Prize for Literature. Since this time, the fascination and intrigue with her work has continued to grow. Very few modern poets have captured the popular imagination as much as Plath, even to the extent that in 2003, a movie was made about her life and her intense relationship with husband and fellow poet Ted Hughes. To understand the continued growth in interest in her work, we have to look at the issues which her life and work address. As Susan Bazinet writes in her book on women writers, dying as she did in 1963, Sylvia Plath never knew that so soon afterwards, the problems of what and how women write was to become such a crucial matter and was to be debated by so many other women. So Sylvia Plath was a woman writing about women's issues before they were recognized as being of any importance. Sylvia Plath was born in Robinson Memorial Hospital in Boston, October 27, 1932. She was the firstborn child of Otto and Aurelia Plath, both highly educated academic people. Her father, Otto, was a professor of biology at Boston University, but her mother had been subjugated into a domestic role as housewife, despite her level of education. Her father was not too pleased with the birth of his daughter and demanded that his wife have a son within the next 2 years. Amazingly enough, his wife obliged by giving birth to a son almost exactly 2 years later. This domineering father figure became a common theme that recurred throughout Plath's writing. With the birth of her brother, Sylvia had to work much harder to win her father's attention and approval. When in 1936 Plath's father became ill, access to him became even more restricted, and Plath's main means of getting attention from her father was by achieving academic success. This meant that from an early age, she began to equate love with success. In 1940, Plath's father died, and this left the family in a very difficult financial situation. They were forced to move away from the seaside home that Plath had enjoyed so much and into a suburb of Boston, and her mother had to take a part-time job to support the family. In 1950, Plath graduated from Bradford High School and won a scholarship to Smith College. In the same year, she published a short story entitled "And Summer Will Not Come Again," and a poem called "Bitter Strawberries." Plath's time at Smith was difficult as she had very high expectations of herself. She wanted to achieve immaculate grades, but she also wanted to be accepted by her peers. And an important part of being accepted was being popular and dating lots of boys. This was difficult because as a scholarship girl, she only had a very small allowance to spend on clothes and going out, and each year's continued scholarship was dependent on the level of her grades. In 1953, Plath won a fiction contest sponsored by Mademoiselle magazine and was offered the opportunity to go to New York as a guest editor. She relished this opportunity to spend a month working in a professional publishing environment. But Plath returned from New York feeling exhausted, and after hearing news that her application to a creative writing course had been rejected, she fell into what was to become one of her many depressions. Today, we're going to look at the life and some of the works of one of America's finest modern female poets, Sylvia Plath. At the time of her death in 1963, Sylvia Plath was on the verge of the critical success and recognition that she had sought for most of her life. Her first novel, The Bell Jar,
All right. So I'm going to share with you some of the questions, right? The first one, right, in order to have more idea. So the first one is the bell jar was, right? The second one, can you listen to me?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God, did you? All right. Number two, Sylvia Plath's collected poems, right? The third one, Sylvia's husband, right? Made movies, died, was also a poet, had a movie made about him. Number four, Susan Basenet thought Sylvia's work was about her husband, wasn't very good, was about work life, was of great interest to women. The number five, Sylvia's brother was 2 years older than her. I need to use my spotlight. Right. Was born 2 years after her, was a professor at Boston University, was a highly educated academic, right? And number six, Sylvia Plath's time at college was difficult because she got a bad grades, she won a scholarship, boys didn't like her, she was short of money. In 1953, Sylvia left New York to get a job as an editor, rejected an offer to teach creative writing, work as a guest editor in New York, or return to New York because she was depressed. What does the lecture imply when she says, very few modern poets have captured the popular imagination as much as Plath? We have four answers. Plath was able to understand the hopes of ordinary people. Plath has become very popular. It is unusual of a modern poet to become popular with ordinary people. Or Plath's writing was about modern people and their imagination. Number 9, what does the lecturer imply when she says this domineering father figure became a common theme that recurred throughout Plath's writing? One, the image of her father appears in many of her poems. Plath often wrote of her love for her father. Plath writings were dominated by the image of her father, or the last one, Plath's father often told her what to write about. And then we have that the last question, right? Which three sentences best summarize the passage, right? So we have A, what's remarkable about Plath's work is that it addresses many women's issues that were ahead of her time. B, Plath's father was one of her guiding influences, and he supported her and mentored her until he died in 1940. C, Plath's early life was spent living happily by the sea with her mother, who had a part-time job to support the family. D, the real significance and greatness of war was never recognized in her lifetime. E, Plath's academic path to success was secured by winning an early scholarship after this an early scholarship. After this, she never looked back. Or F, Plath's work reflects the many of many of the personal difficulties that she had whilst growing up and later as a wife and mother. I know, guys, this is difficult, right? But I need to see how, even though it could be a little bit, how can I say it? A little bit boring, right? I know, right? To tell the truth, I don't like to make the listening part, right? But this is something necessary, right? So we're going to listen one more time. Pay attention to it.
Today, we're going to look at the life and some of the works of one of America's finest modern female poets, Sylvia Plath. At the time of her death in 1963, Sylvia Plath was on the verge of the critical success and recognition that she had sought for most of her life. Her first novel, The Bell Jar, had just been published, and the publication of her collection of poems, Ariel, had just been agreed. These poems, which were mostly written during the last year of her life, chronicle the traumatic developments taking place in her personal life and were to make for her a reputation as a first-rate poet. But it wasn't until 1982, almost 20 years after her death, that her posthumously published Collected Poems won the Pulitzer Prize for Literature. Since this time, the fascination and intrigue with her work has continued to grow. Very few modern poets have captured the popular imagination as much as Plath, even to the extent that in 2003, a movie was made about her life and her intense relationship with husband and fellow poet Ted Hughes. To understand the continued growth in interest in her work, we have to look at the issues which her life and work address. As Susan Bassnett writes in her book on women writers, dying as she did in 1963, Sylvia Plath never knew that so soon afterwards, the problems of what and how women write was to become such a crucial matter and was to be debated by so many other women. So Sylvia Plath was a woman writing about women's issues before they were recognized as being of any importance. Sylvia Plath was born in Robinson Memorial Hospital in Boston, October 27, 1932. She was the firstborn child of Otto and Aurelia Plath, both highly educated academic people. Her father, Otto, was a professor of biology at Boston University, but her mother had been subjugated into a domestic role as housewife, despite her level of education. Her father was not too pleased with the birth of his daughter and demanded that his wife have a son within the next 2 years. Amazingly enough, his wife obliged by giving birth to a son almost exactly 2 years later. This domineering father figure became a common theme that recurred throughout Plath's writing. With the birth of her brother, Sylvia had to work much harder to win her father's attention and approval. When in 1936 Plath's father became ill, access to him became even more restricted, and Plath's main means of getting attention from her father was by achieving academic success. This meant that from an early age, she began to equate love with success. In 1940, Plath's father died, and this left the family in a very difficult financial situation. They were forced to move away from the seaside home that Plath had enjoyed so much and into a suburb of Boston, and her mother had to take a part-time job to support the family. In 1950, Plath graduated from Bradford High School and won a scholarship to Smith College. In the same year, she published a short story entitled "And Summer Will Not Come Again," and a poem called Bitter Strawberries. Plath's time at Smith was difficult as she had very high expectations of herself. She wanted to achieve immaculate grades, but she also wanted to be accepted by her peers. And an important part of being accepted was being popular and dating lots of boys. This was difficult because as a scholarship girl, she only had a very small allowance to spend on clothes and going out. And each year's continued scholarship was dependent on the level of her grades. In 1953, Plath won a fiction contest sponsored by Matthew too, today, but her mother, intentionally out, very small allowance to spend on clothes and going out, and each year's continued scholarship was dependent on the level of her grades. In 1953, Plath won a fiction contest sponsored by Mademoiselle magazine and was offered the opportunity to go to New York as a guest editor. She relished this opportunity to spend a month working in, but she opted a special publisher.
Well,
And what a scholarship he accepted was being popular.
all right. So it was everything about the listening, right? So we're going to start with the first one, right? I was supposed to say that maybe could be the best idea, right? Good idea to send me to my private, right? But because of the time, we're not going to have time, right? So the first one, Hugo, can you please let me know the answer? The bell jar was?
I'm not sure. I think, oh my goodness. I'm between 2 and 3. I don't know.
Just let me know the answer. All right. Meanwhile, number 2,
C,
please.
C, a very successful collection of poems. C.
All right. All right. Thank you. No, that was not the answer. Larissa, number 1, please.
Her first novel.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for those who raised their hands, right? Number 2, please, Natalie.
Um, um, won the Pulitzer Prize in 1982.
Yes, thank you. Good one. Number 3, Paul.
Was also a poet.
Yes, good one. Thank you. Hugo, no, I'm sorry. Wilson, number 4.
Sometimes Smith does serious work. Number 4 was a great interest to women.
Was of great interest. Thank you. Good one. Number 5, Hugo.
I don't know.
All right. Any volunteer to do number 5? Paul?
Sylvia's brother was born 2 years after her.
All right. Thank you. Yes, that was a correct one. Number 6, please, Larissa.
I'm not sure. Sylvia Plath's time at college was difficult because I don't know. She won a scholarship.
No, that was not the correct. The next one, please. Natalie, can you please correct number 6?
He was short of money.
Yes, thank you. That was the correct answer. And number 7, please, Paul.
In 1953, Sylvia worked as a guest editor in New York.
Thank you. That was the correct answer. Wilson, please, number 8.
The selector in Taiwan, she says, briefly, modern poets have captured the feeling and imagination as much as Plath. First one.
No, that was not the correct one. Hugo, can you please try with number 8? You have 3 options. What do you think? Hugo, are you?
I think letter C, teacher. I am my word. And I need to to go for to my house. Then I can't. But I think it's unusual for a modern poet. I don't know.
All right, let's see. Thank you. That was a great one. Good one with Hugo. And number 9, please, Larissa.
The first one, the match.
Thank you. That was the correct one. So we have three options in this part. Pao, can you please mention one? The best summarize the passage? The first one.
Number A.
Number A. Number A or letter
No,
A?
letter A, sorry.
All right, thank you. That was a correct one. Thank you, Pao. Wilson, another one?
Um, well, the direct.
Sorry?
F. Yeah.
Thank you. That was the correct one. And the last one, please. Any volunteer?
D.
All right, let's see. Yes, that was the correct one. So we're going to see how is it, right? We have the script in this part, right? So that was a good one, guys. We have to practice, right? We failed 2, 3, 3, right? We failed in 3 answers, right? But don't worry, we're going to continue practice, right? Do you have any question, guys?
No, teacher.
All right, thank you. Hugo, please stay until the end. So that will be everything for today, guys. Have a great night, and I'm going to launch a pool. That will be everything. Thank you for your attention, and see you tomorrow.
Bye, teacher. See you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, thank you, Natalie. You too.
Bye, teacher. See you.
Thank you, teacher. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Hugo, thank you for being here. Do you have time, Hugo, to solve the problem we have in person?
Could we talk for WhatsApp maybe because I went to my house. I'm driving.
Oh, for sure, Hugo, don't worry. Me avisas entonces, porfa, cuando estés libre.
And
Me mandas.
around 20 minutes, teacher, in 20 minutes.
All right. Me envías, por favor, captura de pantalla con lo que te vaya a aparecer, right? En su defecto voy a tratar de enviarte, voy a ingresar desde tu cuenta ahora mismo para ver si el problema persiste. Si fuera así, voy a hablar con la coordinadora, ¿sí? Porque solo te pasó a ti, no sé por qué, pero la coordinadora me informó de que algo así pasaba, de que iba a haber algún problema con la plataforma. Me imagino que tus compañeros han hecho el día de ayer, right? No tengo ni la menor idea, pero lo vamos a resolver, ¿sí? Por favor, voy a ingresar desde tu cuenta, tengo tu usuario, entonces te aviso cualquier cosa para que ya puedas resolver la tarea, right?
Okay, no problem.
All right, thank you, Hugo. Did you fill the poll?
Yes, I finished.
All right, thank you, Hugo. Have a great night. See you.
Yeah.
See you.